following podcast contains strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. John, where'd that wind come from? We're in the basement.
Where I go, the wind follows, and that wind smells like rain.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 4am podcast, the movie podcast about movies, snacks, and all things nerdy. I'm your host, not Spider-Man, Rob. I am joined by these other fellows who are, I don't know, they might be Spider-Man. They'll introduce themselves, I guess, at some point.
Did you take some Valium before you started this today?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Yo, what up, Damn? It's your boy, Spider Brick.
Okay. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, bye. John Noir.
Joe, the hard-boiled turtle slapper.
Just
I'm calling Peter.
the first issue, Tony.
All right.
That's
So
pretty good.
So we did Into the Spider-Verse. And what year did that come out? 2020.
It was like more than that, I think, right?
2018.
Yeah, it was in the...
Oh, it really came out that long ago. Dang.
The sequel just came out like last year or so.
Yeah. So, yeah, in my head that made sense. I was like, it seems like too long between sequels these days.
Well, see, some people think rather than just pumping shit out to get something in the theater when your effects aren't very good, they take the time to write a good script and make sure the effects have the time they need to be decent.
Yeah, but this is Avi Arad and Sony Pictures, so
And it's a fucking cartoon.
it's a...
It's still not a half-ass MODOK that needed to be fixed and still looks like shit on Disney+. Plus.
Well, anyway, so anybody seen this movie before today?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So that's
With this whole crew here.
Yep.
Possibly, maybe not with Rob.
not me, no.
He doesn't participate in reindeer games.
I do not. It's not that my nose is red. It's that my balls are blue. Wow. Tony, jump in. Tell us about the movie.
Sorry, a little caught off guard here.
It's filmed. It's filmed.
Somebody didn't do his homework.
Oh,
He was on vacation all damn week, too.
I believe it was mocapped by kittens.
Yes,
Is that-
I've been on vacation all week and had nothing else going on.
So
Spider-
someone has more issues than just the first issue to worry about.
So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2018 we already covered. This was directed by Bob...
Odenkirk.
Sure.
Bob Perschetti.
Perschetti, thank you.
And two others, apparently.
Yeah, there were others involved. It's a Lord and Taylor thing, but mostly. But he was the director. I don't know. That gets a little weird, I guess, because like, how much do you? Yeah, like multiple directors when you're doing animated stuff. Sometimes that doesn't matter as much. But he also did like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and all that. But anyway. But yeah, Lord and Taylor, who also brought us the Lego Movie and all that stuff. Everybody...
And the department store.
Yeah, what?
What?
Is that?
Or am I wrong? No,
you're probably right.
no. It's not Lord and Taylor. I'm confusing a lot of things now.
Taylor and
Well,
Swift.
Phil Lord was the writer.
Yeah, and Taylor Swift was the director.
Yes. No, we already covered the director. Anyway, moving on.
Good debut for a director.
Not bad.
I don't. Again, a little behind on all this, so I don't have a lot of information other than I'll
Google
just
that
tell
shit,
you.
listeners.
Yeah. Apparently, you can pause the movie at just about any time when there's a train in the shot, and you'll see Stan Lee.
Huh.
Okay.
They
he
just
likes
kept
to-
him in the texture, and it like repeats over and over again.
Kind of, I guess.
That old guy, he just just really love trains.
He loved running train.
No, well, he was a big character for Spider-Man, and I'm sure a lot of people liked him. And I don't know if this was why, because it probably would have been animated by that point already. But he did pass away around the time this came out, so
I don't know. All I know
Yeah,
is
it's got
he-
the tribute in there at the end.
yeah.
all I know is his actual cameo appearance. They made him look fucking creepy.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty sweet.
Do you want to guess the money that they put into this?
198 million.
I have no idea what an
Yeah,
animated
fucking
movie costs in
no clue.
2018.
Nope.
I just assume everything is around 2 million.
100.
It was 90 million.
Brick didn't even get to guess.
Well, yeah, everybody seemed to be like, I don't know, I don't care.
It was 90 million?
It was 90 million.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
Do you want to guess at how much it made?
A lot.
Was this over $1 billion? I don't remember.
I'm going to go 500.
I'm gonna go 800.
I go 650.
750.
All right, I'm looking here only at 384.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, but well, come on, for a $90 million budget, that's
I know that's good.
It's
I
quite
just-
good.
I thought it did better than that. That's
Yeah.
well,
It's like all anybody talked about when it came out.
oh yeah, it was fucking huge. I mean, well, that's what it made in the theaters. I don't know if that's counting re-releases and so on, or God only knows what it made when it hit streaming and such. I know that was a big one, but yeah, that it did just fine. So don't you worry about that.
Okay. Anything else? Or are we going to the cast?
Let's go to the cast.
All right. Who's in this movie?
So you got this guy, Shamik Moore. He plays Miles Morales. You got Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker. You got Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy. Mahershala Ali, sorry if I butchered that, as Uncle Aaron. And I'm confused. Brian Tyree Henry is playing Jefferson Davis. Is that Miles' dad?
Yeah.
His dad is named after the president of the Confederacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that comes up in the comics. Yeah.
He's taking it back.
Yeah, I guess it's taking it back. Yeah.
I have nothing to add.
Yeah, I'll just bite down on that one.
Yeah. Do you want me to keep going? There's a.
I mean, just at least the Spider-Man.
You get Lily Tomlin as Aunt May. You get
It's not a Spider-Man.
Yep.
Well, that's fine.
Luna Lauren Velez as Rio Morales, Miles' mom. Then you get Zoe Kravitz as Mary Jane, John Mulaney as Spider Ham, Kamiko Glenn as Penny Parker, and Nicolas Cage returning to the podcast as Spider-Man Noir.
As himself.
Thought he sounded familiar.
And it's Lord and Miller. I apologize.
Okay. All right.
Also, Captain America briefly in it as Peter Parker, like the OG Spider-Man.
Captain America.
Chris Pine.
That's not Captain America.
That's not.
Chris Evans is Captain
Oh,
America.
never mind then.
You did a me.
Chris Pine is Captain Kirk. All right, I got a captain.
And Wonder
but-
Woman's boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
lose one nerd token, Joe.
that's fine. I'm gonna lose a lot more before
And
this
the
is
dashing
over.
bard.
Yeah, the D&D movie.
Yeah.
He is.
And a date rape corpse in Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah. Fuck.
No,
Whatever.
he's possessing the corpse that's getting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Date rape necrophilia. Something.
He is almost a
Something
Chris
like
Evans.
necromancy.
Like he's very close. Just like Chris.
Yes, like just sharpen the face.
Oh, yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
He's
Chris Evans is him leveled up like a couple times.
A lot of people will say it's one of the Chris's. They mean Chris Pine,
Yeah.
Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, Chris Helmsworth. Like they're all kind of in that group of good
Pretty
looking
blonde boys.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you want your kid to succeed, name him Chris. Make sure the last name is not too many letters.
Oh, that's where my brother went wrong.
Yes. Mr. Marska Pescapalian Wisniewski.
What?
Because that's Brick's last name.
Yeah. Are you trying to say Mr. Mixoplick?
No.
You trying to say it backwards?
No, I'm making a new IP.
Do we
Have a movie here?
got something to eat? Or are we gonna?
We do.
Oh no, Joe, why? Joe.
I wasn't
Joe,
even going to
why?
mention it. I was going to wait, but okay.
I'm actually kind of hungry.
Oh,
Although,
well,
whoa.
you're probably not going to.
But don't go crazy here.
Also, while he's busy getting stuff, I'm
Yeah.
just going to throw this out here. Not saying we should do it now or on the air, but has anyone tried to make Brick say his name backwards to see if it will send him back to his home dimension?
I'm just going to use a shotgun.
Brick backwards is curb.
Well, I meant his last name, but all right.
So we
Yeah.
have new Doritos.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, that's happened before.
Hot mustard?
That's gotta have happened before.
I don't know. Okay, it's hot
Unless that was like a Lay's chip.
hot mustard.
It was probably a
Doritos
Lay's chip.
And tangy pickle Doritos.
I think those have both happened before as Lay's chips.
I
Yes.
think you need to not trigger me right
Um,
So
okay, I think you need to tell me what your trigger warnings are.
Yeah, that's
that's not as fun.
okay. Reddit, thanks.
All right.
All right,
I'll stop talking bad about Doritos, I guess.
tangy pickle first, I guess.
Hell yeah.
It's probably the. I don't know how to feel.
I
There's
don't.
only one potato chip that I have ever eaten where I was like, I don't want this, that I can remember, and it was cucumber flavor. And I was like,
those
no.
were
Oh,
bad.
Jesus.
Okay, they're all busted up.
I mean, there's all kinds of Doritos that fail outright that we've talked about on this show. Although, yeah, Brick is usually the one that kills the bag. Would you like a napkin?
No.
All right.
All right, pickled Doritos. 3, 2, 1.
Hold on. We don't even have them. Smells like a pickle.
It does.
I love the smell of it. So. All right.
Smell of Doritos in the morning. Yeah, it does smell very pickly and
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
tastes
No,
very pickly.
there have been dill pickle potato chips before.
Yeah.
And they've been good.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it just ends up tasting like, I don't know, like a vinegar fart.
Yeah, I don't know if I could eat a whole bag of these.
All the queef.
If it's clean. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's like, I would even, like, mix these into
Yeah.
other chips.
This is a lot of vinegar,
Yeah.
but it's not bad.
It's not bad, because the dill is nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you like pickles, you'll like these.
and we
But kind of like pickles, you don't just sit there and eat the whole jar unless you're some kind of mutant.
well,
Hi. How are you?
Yeah.
right.
That may or may not have happened once.
And now, hot mustard.
I only wouldn't do that because it would give me a horrendous bellyache.
Honestly, I don't think either of these are going to be bad.
I don't know. I'm kind of worried about this one
Yeah.
I'm
again
excited about this.
because we have to do hot, whatever the fuck they think that means.
I don't know, because brown mustard says it's spicy. So,
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know what this is gonna be. It has higher probability of failure though in my mind.
it doesn't have fire on the. Okay, maybe.
Brown mustard is spicy though because it's easy to anger, not
Oh,
like
okay.
because it burns you.
It says jokes that are like just
Yeah.
on the
I
line.
think
Yeah.
this is supposed to be like the hot mustard, like the Chinese food hot mustard type.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be.
Joey, do it.
Sure.
Oh, these are
Questionable about
good.
the smell.
Definitely mustard.
Honestly,
These are good.
I could mix these with the pickle chips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And,
yeah, they would complement
Yeah.
each other.
and you're spot on with like the Chinese food style hot mustard. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
I'm-
a
but-
I'm
hot
giving
dog
both of these a
flavored
thumbs up.
chip.
Yeah. No, actually, this has that that right bit of like tangy. It's very mild
Yeah.
heat, but it has the right bit of tangy like flavor to it. It's not just destroying my mouth.
Yeah, it tastes like something, and
Yeah.
not just chemical burn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a C plus. I think I would go to town on the $1.29 bag or whatever the smaller size bag is.
Yeah.
But I don't want like a big bag of these.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, that sounds about fair.
I'd give both a B. I'm good with these.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a letter grade. I'm just gonna say I give them both a thumbs up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with Joe. Sorry, but I will just throw in quickly. I would not be against getting a big bag of this, but like, yeah, I would not. I'm not going to be like destroying it,
Yeah,
which is a good thing.
I'd give them a B too. Maybe drop the mustard to a C just because I don't like spicy mustard. But if you do like it, then you'll like these. Like,
That's
I
good.
definitely like the pickle ones.
Nice.
Good stuff.
All right.
That's
so-
way better than Doritos' normal effort. Well, I mean, the shit that Doritos tries to pass off for alternate flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the thunder. Right on time.
John brings the wind with him everywhere it goes. He goes.
Wind smells like rain.
You say that like
Chocolate
you don't,
rain.
Joe.
My wind does not smell like rain.
So yeah, we start with one of the many character intros in this game. This one about Peter Parker, and it talks about him doing all these Spider-Man things, dating MJ. It throws in a little jab at the Spider-Man 3 dance. I appreciated that. And he's a hero. He's saving the neighborhood, and then it cuts to Miles Morales, and he's listening to some song that I hate.
Everybody just launching in on that, huh?
But-
Escalated quickly.
Yeah, he's like, well, it doesn't help that he's humming it and he doesn't know the words.
Yeah. But
It's one of those songs that's just like,
Wasn't it a Biggie song if I remember right?
No, that was
that's
later.
later. Yeah,
This is Post Malone.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Who's
It's
Malone? You said this was after Malone.
post.
It's a,
You
it's a male
motherfucker.
answer.
You got me on that one. Usually I can spot your deceptions.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah, and that's. I don't have a lot of problems with this movie, but one of the problems I have, the soundtrack very much fits the character, but it's a bunch of music that I don't like, and it takes me out of a bunch of scenes. Because it's music that if I heard, I would get up and turn the radio off
That's
if I couldn't change the station.
Okay. I actually like most of the songs.
Yeah. I do
like
too.
most
Like
of them.
Yeah.
my level of like, I don't know quite how to explain it, but basically, like, there are not a ton of songs I listen to on a regular basis on their own, but in this movie, I think they all fit very well, so I'm good with it.
What you call it? I will say I remembered them being worse. But anyway, so it's Miles' first day of school. He's running late. We meet his mom. She's a nurse. We meet his dad. He's a cop. He's going to this new special school, and he's busy in his room making his new tags so he could go vandalize a bunch of shit, which is a problem too. I hate graffiti, and it's a central part of this movie.
Wow, yeah, this is
Yeah,
it's a rough
that's
one for
basically
Joe.
my problems end there pretty much.
I'm right there
but-
with you, buddy.
Yeah, but like if it's not yours, don't draw on it, and I hate that when people do, and it's usually bad art too.
That yeah, that's where I can't argue too much. Is like when it's shitty graffiti and it's just sad.
Yeah,
Shit feedy.
Um,
It's quite some thunder.
indeed.
That's my ass.
So yeah,
Oh,
Is that thunder?
yeah.
Yes, it was.
What did you think
and
it
John's
was?
ass.
I just seem too loud and too repetitive to be just thunder, but
This might be a lost episode. Everybody.
Storm's brewing. So yeah, he goes. He runs to this new school, vandalizing a bunch of shit by sticking these like name tag stickers he made. And then he runs into the middle of the street. Almost gets. He falls into the street, and then
Because his shoe's untied.
because his shoe's untied, which was a conscious choice that he made. And then his dad like pulls up, and decides to like
In a
sound,
cruiser.
yeah, to sound the lights and force him to get in the car and sit in the back.
Yep.
where you'd put the perps. And then brings him to the Brooklyn Vision School. But on the way, we get mention of there's been some unusual seismic activity. Something crazy is going on. And, outside the school, his dad tells him that he loves him. And he does it over the loudspeaker because Miles won't respond to him. So now he's like, I need to hear it. I need to hear you say it in front of everyone.
Like
And-
a bitch.
Yeah.
Say I love you, Dad.
So he's like, I love you, Dad.
Say, I love you, Daddy.
And he's like, that's a copy. Drives off.
It's a very sweet scene.
That's also why you just say quietly, I love you, Dad, before you get out of the car.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't get horribly embarrassed.
get
Just
punished.
just fire off the I love you too right away.
Listen, we've all been there.
I just say hello.
Oh, yeah, he's a teen.
Adolescence, rebelliousness, and embarrassment at every turn.
Apparently, we haven't all been there because we got two fascists over here that don't like any of this stuff.
Huh?
Don't like what?
Hell, what?
Being rebellious.
What are you
I
talking
don't say don't be rebellious, but don't fucking ruin other people's
Respect
property.
shit, yeah. Be respectful. Anyway,
I think Tony wants you to tag his car.
Tony's tagged his car enough already.
yeah.
No,
Oh my.
All right.
Or should we say his mom's car?
I did not, and I
Let's-
do not tag it.
Let's
But
not
anyway.
pile on Tony here. But we get a
Might be a
montage.
lost episode.
Yeah. This is either going to end with a thunderclap or Tony flipping the table over. So now we get a montage of Miles at school. It's awkward. He shows up late to this one class. They're watching the video of this head scientist over at Alchemax riding on a bicycle. And he makes some joke about time being relative, so he's not late. Maybe everyone else is just early. And there's this one blonde girl in the class that, heard that and laughs, whispers something to him during the video. And we see he's also intentionally trying to sabotage his academic efforts because he doesn't want to be at this special school.
Yeah, kind of
So-
glazed past it, but he used to go to a public school that he passed by earlier
Yeah.
with all his friends. Now he's at the smart kid school where he's new and an outcast.
So this dude literally fails so hard, he goes back around to winning. And he fails a test, a true and false test, by literally giving all wrong answers. And the teacher's like, therefore, you have to know all the right answers. So I have to give you 100.
But because you didn't think of that, you're also stupid. So you're back to zero. Get out.
And then the teacher's like, you got to do some essay on about himself.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Yep. And he's like, fuck that. I'm going to go see my Uncle Aaron. And his Uncle Aaron seems like a pretty cool guy.
Well, before
What's
you get
that?
into that, just they do such a good job of setting so much up and everything with
Oh,
a
yeah.
little background. They again, the book they're reading, Great Expectations. They're talking about in chemistry something that she's talking about pressure when he comes into the class. When the video of the bike riding, she's talking about the multiverse and things like that already. So just all these little background things that seem like unimportant and you probably don't need to hear them or pay attention to them, but if you do, it enhances the story so
Yeah.
much better.
This movie foreshadows like a
Whereas
motherfucker.
most of the story or movies we watch, it's like you get like a 20-minute scene where none of that matters
Yeah.
for the rest of the whole fucking
Or they
movie. Like,
hammer it into you so obviously.
yeah.
All right, so
Take note, Hollywood.
So now he goes to see his Uncle Aaron. His Uncle Aaron's got a cool bachelor pad. And his uncle's talking to him about if he's got any girls, and he's talking about this one girl that, he's laying the groundwork on. He doesn't know her name yet, but he's interested. And his uncle shows him the shoulder touch, where you just out of nowhere touch them on the shoulder and go,
Touch him and stare at him.
hey.
Yeah, creepily say.
I've tried
Hey.
the shoulder touch. It doesn't work.
No, it does not.
Well, I don't know how closely you watch that scene, but You can't just touch someone's shoulder.
Oh no, I tried it multiple times.
Right. That's
Yeah,
why
but-
there's a metal divider.
Did you say?
He also tried it
Hey.
multiple times.
Yeah, yeah, I tried.
No. More than that. He also tried it multiple times and said, "Hey," but if depending on how you touch and how you say it, it makes a big difference.
And what you touch.
What kind of food was in your mouth when you said it?
Yeah.
No. Did we miss
And also,
that?
yeah, I caught that one.
I didn't miss it.
Also, he did end up getting stuck to the girl. That didn't help.
To her hair.
To her. Well, I mean, Brick, it was something else, but it didn't end well.
Would have been awful. We got stuck to her cheek and they had to like
Yeah.
cut her skin.
For a little while, they called Brick the lamprey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I would hope. I mean, I'm a little mad at her in general, but like, I would hope, especially if he got stuck to her cheek, she would have been like, "Listen, I know what the deal is. Here's how you handle it. Let me talk you through this."
She was trying. She was telling him to relax.
Yes, but
yeah. Anyway,
Your fault, bitch.
so Uncle Aaron's like, how about this? How about, we go spray some graffiti on a wall. I got this wall that's like in the middle of nowhere in the subway. Perfect spot.
It
And-
looks like they come by and clean that one bit of wall every day.
Or repaint it.
And the soundtrack got me here, though, because they did do the dun, 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 Tonto, jump on it. That song. I forget what it's actually called, but I like that one. Anyway, so he makes this
Oh, is that
graffiti.
about a horse?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he basically spray paints a bunch of pink on the wall and like a little bit of patterns. Then he writes Great Expectations in a very tragic
no
font. Oh, no expectations in a very tragic font. And then has his uncle like spray paint his silhouette because he's got no expectations. And in the middle of this, we see that there is a Alchemax brand radioactive spider on the loose, and it gets on him.
Jumps on it.
I love
Jumps
how
on it.
the spider itself is branded. Copyright.
yeah.
Take note, Monsanto.
So, yeah, as they're leaving, he takes a picture of the wall, and the spider gets on his hand and bites him. And I like that it does that epic, like it's changing his cells thing and whatnot, and like it's the big buildup. And then it cuts back to him, and he's just like, motherfucker, flicks it.
Honestly, it made me think too much of Osmosis Jones, and I started to shake in my chair.
Started turning his red blood cells blue. Like,
Yeah, he goes
But
home,
none
and
of them jumped up and said, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm Spider-Man now."
so now
Trauma.
he goes back to his dorm room, and we get a time lapse of his pants shrinking. And he wakes.
Okay. All right, Joe.
That's-
You want to back that up?
Yeah.
And clarify that?
So, well, I was writing very fast, so there's a lack of
Yeah, I
punctuation.
bet you were.
So that's what my notes
we
say.
get a time lapse of him tossing and turning in
Yep.
his bed all night.
All his roommates
while
doing all
his
bunch of other
roommates
stuff.
whacking off on the computer all night.
Wakes up, finds that his pants are shrinking. He has an inner monologue. He's got like comic book fonts popping up. And I do have to say, I do really love the art style of this movie and how, in a lot of times, it looks like an animated comic book.
Yeah.
I just don't like all the sound effects that they put in because it reminds me
The
of,
written sound effects.
the bang and boom, Sam, whatever, because it's like the old Batman TV show.
I get that, but again, for other things, I wouldn't always like it, but for like this, it definitely, I think it works. I enjoy it.
I forget if we see at this point he can become sticky or that shows up when he meets Gwanda, which is the next scene.
I don't think he's realized he's
Yeah.
sticky yet until
yeah.
that.
You
So
haven't
you-
lived until you've made love to a guan.
So yeah, we see that that blonde girl from before, and she introduces herself. She's about to say Gwen, and she aborts to Gwanda and says she's from South Africa. But, she was
grew
born
up
here.
here.
Yeah, so no accent. So meanwhile, while she's saying all this stuff, Miles is like, shoulder touch. I got this. He reaches out and he's like, hey. And she's like, hey, you want to take your hand off my shoulder? And he somehow his hand gets stuck on her hair. And that's it. He's just stuck to her. And they're like spinning around. Hilarity ensues.
His hand got stuck on
Yeah.
the book.
Hilarity.
He's
They-
like, look on the bright side. It could have been on your titties.
Okay.
They go to the nurse, and unfortunately, she has a hand shaved in her head, and he has a permanent case of hairy palms.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah.
And I love
We've
that
all
the-
been there.
That the school nurse did like just the bare minimum. Like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just or actually like had to go out of her way pretty much to just do the outline of her finger or his fingers.
Oh,
You gotta look great. Take it from Gwanda.
all right. So now,
I don't even get that, though. Like, why did she lie about her name?
She doesn't want to know her name.
She's undercover.
He's creeping on her.
He doesn't know who she is. She doesn't need to
She
lie.
wants to keep it that way.
so he now runs into a security officer, and he runs and hides in that security officer's office. He sticks to literally everything, loses his shirt, ends off like.
And his shoes, I think.
And his
Yeah.
shoes, yeah. He's sticking to the wall outside and runs off.
It's
Oh no, he doesn't run. He ends up with 2 pigeons stuck to either
Oh
of his
yeah,
hands,
yep.
which somehow drag him around.
But, he's got a
Pecking at him. He's-
case of pigeon hands.
it's kind it is over the top nonsense how this all works out, but it's all in getting him to the point of realizing he can stick to things and
Yeah, someone like there's 2 Spider-Men.
Yeah. And at which point, Gwanda sees him stuck to the wall and has a interestingly mild reaction to it.
He ends up running off and he jumps over a cab. So now he's got super jumps. And now, he goes back to see Uncle Aaron because he's freaking out. And Aaron's not around. So he goes back to find the spider that bit him. And the spider starts like glitching out and getting weird. It's got like funky colors. It's like kind of dubstepping a bit there on the floor. And he follows this other tunnel that he didn't take last night. And he finds Spider-Man fighting Kaiju Green Goblin.
yeah.
I don't know if that
Green
ever
Kaiju.
happened or
I don't know
whatever.
what
But
it's about.
Yeah. Comic lore, it's complicated, but I don't know if it's the main timeline or the ultimate timeline or whatever, but at one point or another, Green Goblin becomes an actual, like, goblin monster and not just a guy in a mask, so... This is as far as I know, a slightly more extreme version of that, because I don't think he's usually, like, 10 feet tall or whatever, but the rest of it's pretty accurate.
all right, so either way, it's a pretty cool fight. And, he what's his name? Miles keeps running forward and he almost falls. And he's in this massive, massive machine that's under construction. And meanwhile, Spider-Man's talking about the space-time continuum could collapse. And he, in the middle of this fight, he steals something from a panel on the machine, a little like USB stick thing. And then we get attacked by the Prowler, who I don't know anything about this comic character, but does he have any powers? Like, is he like supernaturally agile or anything, or is he just
don't believe
technologically
Yeah, I
enhanced?
think it's
Yeah.
just
It's
tech.
just all tech.
He's basically, he's just like basically a male version of Black Cat or whatever,
He's a hitman.
as far as I can tell. Yeah, he might have like a
Yeah.
different, like a hitman moveset rather than a burglar.
Yeah, he's got.
But I also, I don't know how many times he's been remade or whatever, so who knows?
He has an unfortunate problem of every time he moves, it goes, which is a cool sound effect. Like if I have to obligatorily make a sound effect,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I want people good and scared.
Yeah,
Going
but like
True.
Does that happen everywhere? Like when he goes to take a dump, like he opens the door, he's like, whoa!
Yeah, he should probably change his name because he's not prowling very well with that noise.
Yeah,
He's the
I imagine.
fowler.
The follow.
I imagine when he's at home or whatever to take a dump, he's not wearing the suit.
Yeah.
so
Does
probably
Sits
won't be a
down.
problem. But
I mean, does that have a volume knob? Could he could he hit a mute button on it?
maybe.
Either way, like it makes him a lot more intense. You know, he's so he's fighting Spider-Man, and we now see the Kingpin, and the Kingpin he's a sight to
fucking
behold.
wall.
He's a strong square.
Yeah,
He's a wall with a head.
he is like I've achieved my ultimate form and purged all of my curves. I'm literally just a brick shithouse.
I kind of like this though. 'Cause
Yeah.
he
It's
looks
not
like-
just fat. He's literally like a fucking wall.
He looks like SpongeBob SquarePants wearing a Michael Myers mask.
That's about right.
Yeah. Oh, he's fucking huge. And he activates the machine. It puts on a hell of a light show. And we see someone's talking about there's 5 separate dimensions. The city starts glitching out. Things are like matter's changing around. We're getting funky colors, weird sounds, cats and dogs living together, all that
hysteria.
stuff. Mass hysteria, yeah.
Apple, chicken.
And then the Goblin decides, you know what? That beam's probably not good. I'm just going to take Spider-Man and shove him in there.
Yeah, it's an easy face disposal thing.
My hand too. So
Yeah.
now,
Foot.
whichever, yeah, one of his claws. And the machine freaks out. Apparently, the Goblin's dead. Spider-Man is heavily wounded. And Miles runs over to him. And Spider-Man's like, you got to take this override key. You got to bring it up to the top of the machine and hit the button and destroy that thing. It could destroy the whole universe. And Miles is like, are you going to die? And he's like, no, I always get up. Don't worry about me. Just get out of here. Kingpin's like, nope.
Quite dark.
Yeah.
Put on my Hulk hands.
It's really easy. Yeah, it's really easy to hit you now that you can't move.
So
Crush.
he mentions something to Kingpin about they're all gone and you're not going to get them back or something. And Kingpin's like, well, I'm just going to flip the anger button and just smash you.
It's fucking gorilla. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's gorilla smash.
And you're like, oh, that's a dead Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like that happened.
Yep.
And Miles, meanwhile, he does something that makes a little bit of noise, and Kingpin's like, go kill that guy. And friggin' Prowler's after him. Oh, I thought that was your ass.
I thought that was the Prowler sound.
Yeah.
He's coming to get us.
Thunder's getting closer. So, yeah, it's a cool chase through the subway. And then he runs home, like, all the way to his house, and his parents are cool with he came back. They're a little worried, but they're like, you could stay here tonight. You know, they think he's just, scared of being alone at school.
Well, and shaken, pun intended,
Mm-hmm.
by the earthquake.
Indeed, yeah.
I love how Brooklyn is just like, yeah, it's an earthquake. Ignore the fact that the buildings changed shape
Yeah. Well,
and color.
they look at a light post that is now a pile of fire hydrants.
Yeah.
They're like, I think it's a Banksy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
If it didn't change in front of your eyes, I might give you that, but kind of hard for him to do that.
It's a hologram.
So now, I guess it doesn't matter, but I am confused about how the next sequence of events go. Because Spider-Man's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, did they take his body and dump him somewhere? Or did the police go into the giant fucking machine and find him?
Don't know.
I gotta assume they dumped him somewhere, or there'd be more questions about the machine and to the connections to the explosion and the earthquakes and so on. I would hope. But also,
Since it's under his building.
yeah, also though it is Wilson Fisk, so maybe he just has enough cops on the take that he just
Yeah.
come grab this thing and get it out of here.
Could be.
Don't ask any questions about
Yeah.
the giant friggin' machine.
And just blame it on the fucking goblin.
That's what I do all the time for everything. Just blame it on the damn goblin.
Oh, that reminds me. I think I saw the goblin in your bathroom before, and
Oh, yeah. Damn goblin.
Damn goblin.
I might have clogged the toilet or something.
Can't
Shit
satisfy
on
my
your wall.
life. Damn goblin.
Wow.
All right. So anyway,
So it's all over the news. Spider-Man's dead.
yeah, it is kind of weird how they jump to like,
That damn goblin.
I don't quite get the like yeah, Spider-Man's dead. Turns out it was Peter Parker.
Yep.
We found a body with the part of the costume on it, so I guess that's must be
Yeah.
the real thing.
And they get Mary Jane talking like
The
she's
web shooter's on.
a celebrity, but I guess in Spider-Man lore, Mary Jane would be like, "That's the woman he always saves."
Well,
So-
no, in the proper lore, Mary
Yeah.
Jane is a supermodel.
True.
I mean, there's a lot going on there, but also I would imagine, I think in this version she might actually be his wife or something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
they were married.
Okay.
they were officially married. Okay.
All right.
So then, yeah, like once you find out he's Spider-Man, it doesn't matter how famous or not she was. She is now big fucking shit.
Yep. So everyone's buying Spider-Man paraphernalia at the Spider-Man store that Stan Lee set up to capitalize on this.
Spider-Man store. I like it. That is what it is.
Yeah. And he
You should have seen my 9/11 kiosk.
so he buys a like a kid's Spider-Man costume, like a Halloween one.
Yeah.
And he
It's
asks
such shit.
he asks Stan Lee if he can return it if it doesn't
doesn't
fit. And he's like, "It always fits eventually."
Pan to the no refund sign.
Yep.
Like, oh, right.
No returns.
He
no
gives them the
refunds.
shit-eating grin.
I like that little bit of Simpsons Stan Lee is stuck in there.
Oh yeah, it's very accurate to I imagine the real Stan Lee. Like I'm gonna capitalize on Spider-Man's death, and I'm gonna sell these costumes and no refunds. But I will
thought it
fully
was
admit,
touching.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I fully admit when I saw this in theaters, it was right after like
Yeah.
finding out about him,
Yep.
and I was fucking like holding back the tears, like about to explode.
It's emotional times for everyone. John's creeped out. You know, Tony's on the verge of tears.
I'm about to
You
explode.
looked creepy.
Rob's about to explode.
Not like that, you freak.
So
Silly oh, speaking of, damn. I totally had something I was gonna do for this to annoy all of you.
Oh, and you forgot?
okay.
Damn.
darn.
So upsetting.
Shucks,
Yeah.
I
we're
have
not,
a Spider-Man web shooter that shoots
yeah,
real
we're not all
webs.
gonna get covered with silly string.
Oh boy.
No, it's not,
Rob.
it's not silly string.
Rob.
It's real webs.
You know, Rob, we all have that. It's not okay to bust it out while we're recording.
Yeah, that's improper.
Fucking freak.
I mean, I know it's your house, but there's limits to
I come where I want.
It's fine. Wait
Damn
till
goblin.
I leave.
Yeah,
Goblin.
Like, we watched you do that. Damn goblin.
whatever. It's a
Damn goblin. He's invisible right now. Grab my hand and pull my wank.
I
Okay.
hate you all. It's a real thing. I have a real web shooter. Shoots real webs.
I'm sure you do.
Yep.
Go on.
All right.
Did
So
not May make them for you?
My uncle works at Nintendo.
we go to Spider-Man's funeral. You know, Mary Jane gives a speech and is talking about how
How she's
You
gonna
know.
forget all about this in a couple of
yeah,
days.
and you have the responsibility or power or something like that. And he's like, I have the responsibility. And the guy next to him is like, I don't think she was literally talking to you.
She's like, Spider-Man's dead. You all have to save me now.
Yeah.
We'll be hanging off a building very soon.
So I like this next scene where he's going to attempt the roof jump and he runs up to the top of a building and he looks at how far down it is and you see him run back down the building and then runs across the street to a smaller building. And he attempts to do the roof jump and he fucks up, falls, and crashes through a bunch of stuff. And what you would call it? He breaks the override chip that he's supposed to use to break the machine.
goober.
Well, it's not a goober yet.
Yeah, we don't know it's the
Yeah.
goober yet.
So now he's failed. Like He's like 6 hours into his quest to save the world, and he's failed.
Completely.
Yep. So, he goes to Spider-Man's grave to like, mope about how he failed, and someone comes over and is like, "Hey, kid," and he turns around and fucking electrocutes this random Spider-Man who also webs him.
Stranger danger.
Indeed.
And he still webs him with his very real web shooters.
So now,
It's a reflex.
Right in the right on the chest.
so now we meet Peter B. Parker, and we get his origin story, where it's the Spider-Man story, except he made some bad investments. He broke his back. He got a divorce. He got overweight. He lives in like a shitty apartment now and eats a lot of pizza.
He eats his feelings.
No,
Yes.
It's spider sad.
no, I think you got that wrong. That's my story.
You saved New York?
No.
Yeah, just cut the first half of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just poor choices. Not fighting villains.
So now he got sucked through some interdimensional phenomena into Miles's world. And he's like, it's like my world, but totally different. And you see all these like billboards in Times Square that are all wrong. Like,
Now, mind you, he's wearing the top half of his spider suit and some grungy fucking sweatpants.
Yeah.
But everyone is apes.
yeah, I believe the lower half of his suit, we see it getting kind of tattered through the,
Yeah,
he
when
has to
he's
get
bouncing
bumped
around.
around.
Yeah.
I know he loses his boots and stuff too.
Yep.
And also, Rob, you can't joke about that because that's a real thing in the Marvel universe,
What is?
the monkey universe.
Well,
Monkeyverse.
yeah, but it's
Oh,
the Planet of the
whatever.
Apes.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't
But
care
anyway,
about
so he
the
looks
Monkeyverse.
he looks like a homeless guy wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, and Miles just learned that he could electrocute people for whatever fucking reason. I guess that's his spider sting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, again, I don't have a lot of problems with this movie, but I don't understand why we give him new powers and like,
Different Spider-Man.
Because
I know
otherwise
he's a different
people might
Spider-Man,
notice
but,
it's
like-
just Spider-Man again.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like because otherwise, why just have a second Spider-Man?
because
needs
it's a
to be-
totally different character,
He just needs to be better than vanilla Spider-Man.
I guess.
Joe.
Like, so if you're going to give him different powers, I would put different caveats in there to make it interesting, not just like he can use electricity and be invisible, classic spider powers. It's just like you just sort of picked those at random, I guess. Like, have him, he has a venomous bite now or something.
He injects a toxin
Yeah.
that disintegrates your
have,
intestines.
have his web shooters
I mean,
somewhere else.
It wasn't like this was a controlled experiment when he got bit. So they did kind of have like a roulette wheel.
I
going.
guess,
They
but
are, again, as you already pointed out, they are supposed to mimic, like, it's
Yeah.
a spider bite, and it's his spider camouflage. Like, even the spider that
Yeah.
bites him, we even see when he's jumping on the paint cans, it changes color. So that's the invisibility.
to me, it made him less interesting.
Oh. See, like, my only problem with it is, like, can we not call him Spider-Man? Because I don't want to have a world where there's 5 fucking people I have to... So every time I say, oh, have you read Spider-Man? I have to specify which one of the 5 Spider-Men there are.
But isn't that like what is actually in the comics?
Yes, and that's what I don't like,
Oh,
though.
okay.
Just say
That's
yes,
the
I
same
read
thing with
Spider-Man.
Captain Marvel and all those other things. Like, it's they're different characters, but if you're using all the same name, it just makes it fucking confusing and
Well,
annoying.
He's not Spider-Man. He's Miles Morales.
But you don't call him that.
Is that what the comic is titled?
That's what I call him.
I believe that. Well, yeah, I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure, but I think his was Miles Morales, Spider-Man, kind of
Yeah.
like Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
But
Yeah, there's Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man.
like
Spider-Ham.
we're might be getting ahead a little bit. Like it's not even getting into the confusion of Spider-Gwen, who calls herself Spider-Woman in this,
Yep.
but is called Ghost Spider in the comics, and
And is also a teenage girl, so really shouldn't be calling himself Spider-Woman anyway. But I guess he's a teenage boy, so he shouldn't
Yeah.
be calling himself Spider-Man. But he's not Ace Miles Morales.
It's
so.
Spider them. Thank you very much.
Also, Peter Parker was a teenager when he started doing it too. So like, well,
Yeah.
but whatever.
I don't really read Spider-Man comics. Or
I
like
can't read
like
No,
the-
I used to read
Yeah.
Spider-Man comics.
till this happened.
I used to. Well, no, this is
No.
far beyond. When I
Oh,
quit.
Ben Riley
yeah,
fucked
yes,
things up
I
long
quit.
before this.
That's it.
I quit the first time there were multiple Spider-Men. The Clone Saga.
Yeah. So I've made my complaints about Spider-Man a bunch of times. He's not my favorite character, but sometimes you get a cool movie.
Well, he is my favorite character.
It's better than Aquaman.
You like him better than Batman?
Yes,
You do?
I do.
I wouldn't have think that, but I don't really like either of those characters.
So what do you like, Joe?
What's that?
Aquaman.
Character-wise?
Yeah.
It's a good question. You know, I don't know.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not like, Thor was okay. Before I start with anything, I haven't read comics. I only have the movies to go on. I haven't even really
You've
watched.
never read a comic?
I've read a couple comic books sometimes, but I
But you
never
don't know
read.
of- okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I haven't really even watched a lot of animated series with superheroes. Superheroes are not really a big thing I'm into.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know, but from the Marvel movies, like a lot, I like the characters, but I think a lot of cases of all of like the technology based ones, I have major problems with how they choose to use their brilliance and their technology and, to stop crime, but not stop anything that's causing it. Or what I could go on a long rant about that. Same thing with like Peter Parker and the web shooters, how he could be a billionaire, but he chooses not to be. And
That's
Well,
again.
apparently he
yeah.
is a billionaire. He
Well,
had a
the-
fucking $1 billion
the dead
spider
guy is.
cave.
Well,
yeah, the dead guy is, yeah.
the dead one.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, that gets into that long running thing of like, I'm sure it's because now, especially with them running as long as they have,
Yeah.
we're thinking about things way more than the writers did, and like, so
Yeah.
at this point, we have to be, as a modern society, be like, yeah, Batman, you could use that money to make a better city rather than just punching a bunch of thugs in the face, but it kind of ruins the whole comic if you start thinking like that. So.
Well, like I'm the guy that when I'm watching these movies and like Hulk's throwing a tank around, I'm like, can we do something with the tank? Like, I want to see that movie, or like,
Well, you got that movie. You got many of those movies.
what movie?
World of Tanks.
That's a video game.
Saving
Yeah,
Private
they're
Ryan,
making
Fury, pretty much anything World War II related.
It's like 10 movies.
Come on.
So, and some of them are bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
until recently that was Marvel too.
Yeah. Anyway,
I know.
so where the hell even were we?
He just
Oh.
shocked Peter
Yep.
B. Parker.
All right, so now we get this chase where there's an unconscious Spider-Man.
Being carried by Spider Boy.
Yep, who's getting dragged around because he's stuck to a train now. And it's a fun scene, but it is kind of like, how durable are these people? Because like
He always gets back up.
he always does.
Except
that
for the
Kingpin
one that died.
that Kingpin smash shouldn't have really killed him if we're hitting cars, we're doing all this other stuff. But it's a fun scene. So it's one of those cases where the movie's doing enough good stuff that like I don't care.
It was a little too Looney Tunes for me.
It was a bit overboard. Just at the very least, Peter B. Parker should have some major like concussion or something. But
When he hits
Yeah.
the snowman and he has the snowman head. But you do get that awesome like slow motion shot of like the snowman face and Miles's face like dragging on
Yeah.
the train for that kid. All right, so now they take him to Uncle Aaron's, ties him to a punching bag, and starts interrogating him if he's like a ghost or a zombie or whatnot. And he's like, "Why are you fat?" Kids, Peter's like, fat chat's not a game; it's life.
Just occurred to me, Uncle Aaron just leaves his window open. Just
Yeah,
the
'cause
whole
Of course,
time.
because he's the Prowler.
yeah, he
That's how
probably
goes out.
left through the window. So I mean,
That apartment doesn't have a door.
Or AC.
Like no one knows that he's in there. Like,
Yeah, the Prowler doesn't use the front door.
It's Brooklyn.
that's true. The Prowler has to go through the window. Otherwise, what good is he? What are we even doing here?
I just made the connection for the part 2. Anyway,
So, yeah, Peter gets out of the bungee cord tied to the punching bag. He gets out of that in like 2 seconds. Takes the well, he's going to run away, but then he like glitches out, so Miles catches up to him, and we find out that
Falls down the fire escape.
Miles needs to fix this broken chip thing, and that's when PB, I call him, is like, that's a goober. He's like, you always need some kind of technological thing that it's always got some important long name and description or whatnot. So it's just a goober, just to keep it simple. So they ultimately agree to team up after Miles hits him with the guilt spell, and they're like, all right, let's go to this Alchemax laboratory, and we cue St. Elmo's fire, and that's fucking rad.
Yeah.
As they gear up to the to go into the lab, and Spider-Man has a cape. Well, Miles has a cape, and Spider-Man's like, get rid of the fucking cape.
he should have kept the cape. I don't
and-
know why, but I'm so very disturbed by like that like hospital gown style gap he has
Yeah.
in his
Yeah.
back from that suit. Like, it bothers me. So I'm like, please keep the cape on.
Supposed to.
I know, but it's just,
And he has the like the eye holes in the mask and everything.
Yep.
yeah.
So
Oh, it's got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But I'm just, yeah.
So PB's like, I'm going to head in there. You're going to stay here and not do anything. And Miles, like, in
You're the
frustration,
lookout.
pounds on a rock and breaks it in half. He's like, oh, that's new.
Yeah.
And he decides, no, I'm going after him. After he sees Kingpin and I called him the Pale Man. I did not know till the credits. His name is Tombstone.
Yeah.
What is his deal? Because he doesn't seem to do anything.
He's dead.
He's unkillable.
Arguably, yes. Yeah. He's,
Okay.
He's basically like, I don't know if he's actually made of stone or if he's just
I think his like skin is hard as stone.
yeah.
Some such.
But hence the name.
But he's
Gotcha.
gray colored with white hair. Looks freaky.
He's usually way bigger.
Gotcha.
He's
I
pretty
mean,
good size
compared
in
to
this.
Kingpin,
Yeah.
he's small, but he's
Oh.
a pretty big guy.
I also, like, I don't remember if we see how Kingpin got into and out of the vehicle, but I want.
No, they,
I don't think they do.
they did not show.
I'm
us
pretty
that.
sure that van had a side door and a warning siren as a ramp lowered him down.
I do believe the side of the vehicle unlatches and it just folds in half
Yeah, because, I mean,
and then envelops Kingpin like a sandwich.
yeah, at the bare minimum, it's like a handicap van situation, but it's probably more like a mask vehicle to get him in and out of there.
Oh, mask.
So, now he sees them going in, so he's like, okay, I gotta go help, PB here. So, meanwhile, in the lab, PB hacks the computer and, he's crawling through the vents and, Miles catches up with him and, they find out that there's a, the Kingpin is talking to the head scientist,
Yeah.
who we don't really get a good glimpse at her name yet. And you're like, all right, she's just a weird scientist lady, and
She's the same lady as what
riding
was
the
on-
bike in the
riding the bike
projector.
in the movie. Yep.
So, wow, I'm glitching out here. I'm from another dimension. No, so she's like, my super collider can't take another turning on thing. You gotta give it time. And this is when PB's like, check it out. He's gonna say,
Oh, bitch, we're moving too fast.
yeah. PB's like, check it out. He's gonna say, you've got 24 hours. And sure enough, Kingpin's like, you got 24 hours. And then he leaves. They all leave the lab. So PB heads down there, hacks into the computer with his mad hacking skills. And Miles, meanwhile,
Oh,
gets...
he memorized the password too.
Yes, true. Well, he has
punch-
mad perception skills.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That
memory
he does.
skills.
Yeah.
'Cause that password is bullshit.
So Miles sticks to the light, and he has to sing that awful Post Malone song to detach himself.
Just to be clear, we don't mean sticks to the light as in stays out of the shadows, but like
yeah, he's
sticks
adhered
to
to
the
it.
ceiling light.
Yeah.
And I do like how they did not lazily make the ceiling light like a recessed thing. They actually made it like a hanging like pattern in the ceiling.
Yeah.
I like that touch.
So, turns out also Miles can become invisible, and Peter's
Surprise.
like, "That's awesome." So he has him go like put the password, and he's like, "The password is like 89er PB54 8K doodad bing bong 35 Jabberwock," and just says it super fast to Miles.
Yeah.
And Miles, to give him credit, he remembers all of it, but the last two numbers. And then
I didn't even catch that much.
the scientist comes in, and she's looking at Peter, and she's like, "Wow, this is pretty cool. This is another Peter Parker." She's like, "I'm impressed." Yeah. Da, da, da. And Peter's
to
like,
clarify.
"Oh,
He tells Miles to do this invisible while
Yeah.
he puts the charm on her.
yep." So he thinks he's charming her.
Yes.
She's like, "Surprise, I'm evil," pushes him into a chair, and he gets locked in it. And yeah, she's like, "My machine works. I pulled in another Spider-Man. And by the way, my name's Liv. That's what my friends call me, but my enemies call me Dr. Octopus." And sure enough, she's got the Doc Ock arms. And I like the different interpretation that they're more like hoses, and they're
Pneumatic.
they're more like that tube robot that can crawl through
Yep.
pipes and what.
Soft robot.
Yeah. I thought, that's a cool different touch. I like this different take on Doc Ock.
Yeah.
So Miles is like, "All right, rather than do the password thing again, I'm just going to take the whole fucking computer. Take the monitor too." And as he runs out, it's very quick, but he bumps into Gwanda, who's in disguise as a lab worker.
Yep.
And then they
Don't bother Gwanda when she's at work.
they run into the cafeteria, and part of PB's plan originally was he was going to steal a bagel from the cafeteria, so he does that. And then the scientists all have laser guns, and they all start shooting pew
While
pews
on their
everywhere.
break.
While on the break, yeah,
Yeah, even on the break,
No,
yeah.
you
What
saw-
hardworking employees they are.
no, laser guns are
Always
mandatory.
ready.
Yeah, you never know when someone's going to steal one of the bagels.
Yeah. And your boss, who might show up at any time, is a fucking wall that will smash your head in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, he freaks out.
Oh, and your more direct boss apparently is Doc Ock. So yeah.
He freaks out like 6 times a week in this lab and has to get the stun ray put on him. So anyway, he's swinging away. We get the tutorial on how you swing. There's lasers flying everywhere. Doc Ock's chasing after him. It's a cool chase in the woods. They're juggling around the computer. PB is like, "Okay, good news is we don't need the monitor. Lose that." And they almost drop the computer case.
And also, just because we're talking about all this, also a brilliant thing of because of the structure of this, I guess we're about to get into a bit more, but we have the different Parker show up. We get here, let me do a quick rundown of my origin.
Yep.
That way you get a little bit. So if you're somehow don't know the origin of Spider-Man, you get it. If you are familiar, we don't waste a lot of time in it. But also throughout this whole thing, as you've briefly gone over, we learn things like Miles Morales figuring out how strong he is, learning how to unstick from things by just calming himself down, learning how to web sling when all wall action and things are going on, so it's not just
Exposition.
yeah, we're not just sitting down for a training montage or something. Not that those are bad things all the time, but
It's tight storytelling.
yes.
Especially dealing with a played out trope of an origin story.
Yeah, and when you're trying to essentially do that for what in the end I think 6 different Spider-Men or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
So speaking of
Wonderfully
new
done.
Spider-Man, we get a Spider-Gwen come swinging in here.
Yes.
She saves the computer, beats up Doc Ock. Turns out, we get her origin story. She got bit by the spider. Her only friend, Peter Parker, died. She couldn't save him, so now she doesn't make friends. But she joined a band somehow.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. And she reveals herself to the other two.
Just her.
Yeah, just her playing the
She's
drums.
just sitting there playing the drums.
And you see when she reveals herself to the other two.
So, that's my first thought was, I mean, well, Fred Durst is in a band, but I don't think anyone likes him, so it could happen.
Fair.
Yeah, she takes her hood off, and Miles is like, "I like your haircut." And she's like, "You don't get to like my haircut," because now she has the side of her head shaved. And we cut back to Kingpin, who's just having some flashbacks. He's clicking a pen. He's remembering fighting Spider-Man in his house. He's remembering his wife Vanessa and his son running away and getting hit by a car. And
Running away because they saw him beating the shit out of Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah, she got scared of him.
I like the Marvel, the Daredevil take on Kingpin better, where it was like his wife knew what this was all about, and slowly, Vanessa, I don't think she's his wife in that, but girlfriend, she knows what he's about, and slowly gets more and more into it, and by the end when he goes to jail, she's like, all right, I'm gonna keep running shit now. But anyway, so she's dead, and now you're like, okay, Kingpin's got some loss he's trying to avenge. That's why he's got his collider. He wants to get his wife back.
Yeah.
So Doc Ock comes back, and she doesn't have the computer or the Spider-Man. So Tombstone's like, I got 2 guns. She's like, I got a tentacle. She's like, check it out,
On your
Kingpin.
neck.
I totally didn't get the computer or any of the Spider-Man, but that's a good thing because we know my machine works now. So there's more Spider-Man here. They got to show up back at the Collider. We'll fuck them up then. Just call everybody. And, we're good to go.
We'll get several of your families.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so he has a collection. How would they feel about that? There's no forethought at all in his head about this.
He's going to be like, all right, here's the deal. We got 5 of yous. We're going to do this bachelor style. Whichever one I like best, we keep the other ones.
Oh, okay.
The other ones go to the Scorpion.
Also, I did not realize on my first watching of this, another little thing that we kind of, I don't know how much it gets actually mentioned, but we breeze past it, but she learns from this when they had the fight before the thing blew up or whatever, when Spider-Man got shoved in. That means that's how they learned that putting the DNA in there will call the other Spider-Man or whatever. So they put in the DNA from his wife and so on. Again, nice little touch.
DNA that he just had.
So I think the Goblin just made a run-in because the bag of hot mustard Doritos literally on its own volition just turned and faced me and pointed at me.
The damn goblin.
The damn Goblin.
It did do that. I saw it do that. That was
I know.
interesting.
I know how it did. It was the guy.
It was definitely the Goblin, not the cords. It was definitely the
No.
Goblin.
I saw I saw maybe a goblin tail out of the corner of my eye. What happened? I thought maybe I was just imagining it, but I didn't want to say anything.
All right.
in case.
So on the bus
God
ride
damn
home,
it, Rob. For the last time, that's not a goblin tail, and that's not a web shooter. Put it away.
It's hot.
he's never been the same since he got that homo poncho.
That's right. It's got
That hole in the sheet.
Oh, Stallone, come to strike me down.
Dramatic lightning strike.
That was
That's,
a throwback to an old episode, Brick, before your time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rambo.
Oh.
So
I've seen most of that.
Rambo, Lambo, McGee.
either way, on the bus ride home, Miles blames Peter B here for breaking the chip, and he's flirting a little bit with Gwen, and Peter's in the back pretending to be asleep, but he's like, I like what this kid's doing. So they
I
go.
had to teach you that.
They go to see Aunt May,
Kind of does.
and they go to PP, Peter Parker's secret base, which is in the shed, and it lights up bright and has a secret elevator, and he's got a fucking bat cave down here
And
you know,
So
with all those Spider-Man vehicles that you would always as a kid be like, why does Spider-Man need an ATV?
So maybe it's like maybe it's on like Avengers kickbacks. You know, because he's teamed up with like every team up the.
He is a
Yeah.
second string Avenger. in
Yeah.
some-
Well, I'd imagine like Tony Stark by this point has developed like a capsule corp style. You throw this, in a hole.
Or died of alcoholism. Yeah.
Well, both. But you'd throw this like capsule in the hole, and it like digs out a layer for you and fills it with a bunch of
Yeah,
shit.
it could easily be Stark Tech too.
Well,
'Cause
the
it wasn't
ATV
like
is-
wasn't the Iron Spider costume down there?
I think there were a lot, so it's hard to say. Hard for me to remember, but
The ATV though is for when he is in the desert.
True. Yeah, you can't really swing on much
There's
there.
That's fair.
No buildings. Okay.
no, that
All
will
right,
help explain.
Brookleton.
That will help explain possibly how this got built. But we do. I don't think
desert?
it's. Huh?
The desert?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Stark Tech.
Oh,
But
yeah.
also, for what it's worth, we do know he did have some money because he made a Christmas album. He had a cereal and all kinds of other shit. So.
I forgot about the Spider-Man Spider Bells.
Yeah, he's a sellout.
Yep. All right, so
That actually does explain it.
Yeah.
PB when he gets down there and he's like sees the picture of MJ and he's like, oh, I fucked everything up and all the regrets of how I screwed my life up and this Peter Parker, did everything right. To rub it in, also Miles is looking at one of the costumes like, I think this is a cape. He's like pulled it out so he can see it.
Doctor Strange cape, I might add.
And suddenly, 3 more Spider-Men show up. You got yourself a Spider-Noir, you got a Penny Parker, and you got Peter Porker.
I fucking hate Spider-Ham.
Of course you do.
So, yeah, compared to the other Spider-Men, Miles Morales kind of sucks. The other Spider-Men are like, look at all these cool things we could do. I'm from the 1930s, and I punched the hell out of Nazis. One of
Look at all
them.
these cool things we can do. I'm from the 1930s.
Yep.
I can die.
But he keeps the wind with
I
him.
have my
everywhere he
own
goes.
wind.
Yeah.
I'm from the 1930s, and I punch men and women indiscriminately.
That's still cooler than Miles.
I mean, I guess.
You got Penny Parker's got her dad's robot with a spider inside piloting it, and that thing's friggin' rad. And then
So do we need her for?
what's that?
She has the psychic link with the spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider doesn't work for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
Works
think
for love.
If
if you
the spider-
just be like,
Yeah.
King, we need to stop Kingpin, the spider's just going to be like, I'm a spider. What the fuck
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Okay.
She caught the spider and trapped him in a robot. instead of getting
Basically.
bit by him.
Told it that it was friends with her.
And then Peter Porker has all these cartoon powers. So they're all like, they're all talking about how we have to like break this collider thing and put the chip in, but someone has to stay behind. So Miles is like, I'm going to do it. And they're like, yeah, you kind of suck. Can you do this? Can you do that?
We're going to hit you a bunch of times.
Yeah, Spider-Noir just keeps going sneak attack and kicking him.
But he's like, yeah, but I live here though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna want to be here either way.
And he, they're like, get up, Miles. And like, Miles is just like, if I get up, you're going to kick me again. So he doesn't. And they're like, oh, that's the other thing. PB is like, check it out. He could turn invisible. And Miles is like, I can't do it on command. He's like, he can't do it on command. He can make electricity. He's like, I can't do that on command either. Can't do that on command.
What other things can you do? Just those two things.
Just those two things.
So yeah, so now Miles is, PB's trying to like defend him to the other Spider-Man. And they're like, yeah, okay, he does kind of suck.
I know we're trying to move things along here and whatever, but like this does kind of annoy me because they're just like, yeah, I don't know, he's not ready, he can't do all this stuff. Like, how about at least give him 2 seconds to try? Like fucking somebody be like, all right, try and focus your mind, try and think invisible, see what happens. But no, it's just
Well-
like, nope, he's not ready. Fuck him.
Yeah, well, it's
Move
also
on.
the point of he's only been a Spider-Man for like a day.
Yeah,
and he's not hard boiled enough to.
Yes,
He's not a hard boiled turtle slapper. Yeah.
I kind of feel like this is an interesting psychological experiment because they're not used to dealing with another Spider-Man, and they're all very hard on themselves. So they're not giving him any slack at all, but they're also not remembering them not being able to do anything. So they're just like, you got to get up because they're almost talking to themselves.
Yeah.
So Rob just
Well,
laughed.
Thanks for that.
Mom and Dad.
He's got to go slap his turtle.
He's looking for his web shooter.
Yeah.
Takes him a while to find it.
the goblin hit it on him.
Jesus.
So now
The
we cut
goober
to
shooter.
his mom and dad are. Oh no, he sulks off. He turns invisible and sulks off, and so
See, he can do it.
Yeah, he can turn invisible.
Yay.
Mom and Dad are calling around looking for Miles. They call Aaron. Aaron's out of town. Miles goes to visit his Uncle Aaron, and the Prowler shows up right through the window. And now Miles turns invisible, but we find out, dun dun dun, that Uncle Aaron is the Prowler. And also, he can see invisible with his Prowler vision.
Yeah.
So
No,
in case
he can't see invisible.
he can see Miles when he's invisible with the
No.
Prowler.
Once he figured out that Miles was invisible, he switched his visor like
Yeah.
Predator vision, and could see his heat signature.
Mm-hmm. That happens on the fire escape.
I thought he. Oh, okay. I thought he ceased being invisible, and that's when he started seeing him. Because when they were behind the couch, he was still invisible, and he was
Yeah.
like right in front of him.
Prowler has to turn on that like.
Oh,
vision,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
He had to adjust his input.
Yeah. So now there's a big ass chase. It's pretty cool. It ends in a big old crash,
There's a lot of wow, wow.
and we cut to Penny Parker fixing the goober inside her robot.
I love the scene of her doing this. It reminds me of when I'm in the zone doing software engineering, except I'm not popping candy as often as she does.
But he is wearing the same outfit.
Yeah,
Wearing less clothes than that.
yeah.
Well, he's got the skirt, but no underpants.
We also, meanwhile, we find out that Spider Noir can't see color, and he's attempting to solve a Rubik's cube. He's like, "Is this purple?" And Spider Ham's like, "Nope." So Miles runs in, and he's like, "My uncle's the Prowler." Everyone's like, "What the fuck?" That's a you and your uncle problem, kid.
Yeah. Did he touch you?
He came in through the window.
Is that a euphemism?
Did he put his hand on you and say, "Hey"?
He's got big metal hands. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So they're all like, "Hey, Miles, were you followed here?" And he's like, "No." And
At least I don't think so.
Knock
I
on the
wasn't thinking
door.
about that.
Fucking-
Wait a minute.
Scorpion shows up, Tombstone shows up, Dr. Octopus. And he's like, "Can you guys do this outside?" And Spider Noir's like, "We don't pick the ballroom, we just choose to dance," or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So they fuck up Aunt May's house.
Yeah.
And a big old fight happens.
Aunt May is awesome, though. She does take the baseball bat to Tombstone. She's just like, take it outside.
Yep.
And he kills her off screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably.
And so Prowler, goes chasing after Miles, who's got the goober, and he ends up catching him on the roof, and gets him in the classic villain, like, "I've got my arm around you, lifting you up" position,
Around
dangling
your
over
neck.
the roof. And so Miles is like, "Check it out, I'm Miles." And
Pulls the mask off.
It's just like, check it out. Fuck.
Prowler's like, "Oh, god damn it!" He takes his mask off, and he's like, "No, this is no." And Kingpin's like, "Okay, hey, why don't you kill that guy? Give you like 5 seconds, then I'm gonna fucking shoot you."
Yep.
So he shoots the Prowler, and then before he could shoot Peter, fucking PB runs in and drop kicks Kingpin away. So now Miles runs off with his Uncle Aaron, takes him to an alleyway, and of course that's when Miles' dad shows up in the alleyway, and tells Spider-Man to put his hands up, but turns invisible
And turn around.
fucks off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sees his brother is the Prowler and is dead.
It's interesting how he doesn't react to the "why are you in the Prowler" outfit. You would think that the Prowler would have been on the radar already.
He's got a lot of emotions.
He
to
does.
process.
It just didn't
Yeah.
react to that.
But Aaron does impart some motivation on Miles before he dies, and this is the moment in all the Spider-Man's origin stories where they lose somebody important to them.
Particularly an uncle.
Usually an uncle, yeah. So Miles goes back to his dorm room and freaks the fuck out. Starts knocking stuff over. Throws his no expectations drawing out the window and comes flying back in. And it's all the spider people have shown up to console him. And this is when his roommate comes in and they're all like on the ceiling,
Yup.
crawling around. It's pretty funny looking. But then the roommate turns around, sees him, passes out. So they just tuck him away in bed, and then they're like, check it out. We're going to go deal with that collider. You can't come. Give me the goober. Don't make me take it from you. See you later. And
Ciao, bitch.
Miles is like, God damn it. And he wants to come, and PV's like, turn visible. Do electricity. Do something. Do anything.
Piss your pants.
Fish pants. He's like, I can't. And he's like, I'll web you to this chair. Web your mouth closed. Take your goober. I'm out.
Yeah. He lets him know, like, he asks, how do you know when you're ready? He's like, you won't. It's just a leap of faith. You gotta take
He
it.
didn't have to flick him in the eye, though. That was kind of awful.
I'd say to watch out for prowlers, but we don't got to worry about that problem. Oh, it's out.
With great power comes great. Your uncle's dead.
So, it doesn't get that harsh, but it is harsh. So now
I just flicks him in the dick and runs out the window.
Miles is webbed up. His mouth is webbed closed, and his dad shows up and like knocks at the door, and sees that Miles' shadow is beneath the door, so he knows Miles is
He
listening
sees
to him.
a shadow.
A shadow.
Yeah.
It could
That
just
is-
be his roommate.
So
It could be the Prowler.
It'd also be kind of fucked up if, based on the earlier scene, like, he's having this heartfelt moment, like, I love you, and your uncle's going whatever, and inside he's just got the headphones on, bopping it to Post Malone again.
What if his dad just starts hearing, like,
Yeah, the goblin. Yeah.
the goblin?
You're in the goblin.
Damn goblin.
A new euphemism is born.
So his dad tells him he loves him. It's an awkward conversation.
A hard-boiled goblin slapper.
And
It's a t-shirt.
how do you get out of spider webs? Electricity. Blast out of them.
Yeah.
So he's like, I gotta go visit Aunt May. I gotta get a new spider suit. I gotta graffiti it a little bit, spray paint it black. I gotta get my new web shooters. Get this like "What's Up Danger" song.
What up, Danger?
Yeah, that ruins the scene for me.
I love this song.
Yeah,
I
I'm
do
quite
like
fond of
that
it,
song.
too.
And
You say you disapprove or reprove?
Approve.
I am not a fan. So yeah, the other Spider-Man, meanwhile, they're attending Kingpin's having like a Spider-Man memorial or something.
Yup. Because he's that much of a dickwad.
So,
It's got like some, maybe it's an investors dinner
this
or
is the
something.
scene I had the most beef with.
Mhm.
Mary Jane's there.
Yep.
A, she doesn't know about Kingpin.
Mhm.
Like, A,
Well-
he's the one that killed her husband.
he seems to be like looking Lex Luthor-y, where he's like, I'm a businessman.
Yeah,
Also
but
an
Mary
evil guy.
Jane, who is married to Spider-Man, who
Yeah.
presumably have been told by Spider-Man.
I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
Like, even if New York doesn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Pete was this Peter Parker was one of those guys that he doesn't bring the job home.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
sure.
Kingpin's like, yo, I got someone you care about, so you be at my memorial service thing, or I'm gonna crush them too.
Well, yeah, I believe this is more a memorial for Spider-Man, and it's possible that I don't know the history or anything, but like if Kingpin showed up and was just like, I know we had our thing in the past or whatever, but like
But it's in
I
his
miss him.
penthouse.
And, huh?
It's in his penthouse. It's at the top of his tower, they said.
Oh, it was okay. So then maybe he set this up, whatever. But
He
like,
cut her a fat check.
I mean, in the comics, he's not only the kingpin of crime, but he also is a powerful businessman in the city who gives the appearance of being a.
I just don't think
a
Mary
straight
Jane would have
businessman.
shown up to that. That's
well, but that's what I'm saying. Like maybe she is thinking like, oh, maybe he does actually genuinely feel bad about this, not being aware that he is the one that killed him.
Or maybe, like what happens a minute later, she doesn't actually remember that her husband's dead.
What?
So at one point, the Spider-Mans are like.
All the waiters are dressed up like Spider-Man.
Yeah, so one of them comes
in
over and
tuxedos and stuff.
he's like, I'm sorry or whatever. He apologizes, like it says I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But she
it's
doesn't
Peter,
react.
Peter B comes over to
Yeah,
her.
but she's like, for what? What are you sorry for? At this memorial thing for her dead husband.
Yeah, she acts a little out of place.
Well, she was just
Well-
asking for bread, and he said, "I'm sorry." Like,
Yeah, but still, it's
Sorry
like
for
he-
fucking up our
Yeah.
relationship. And, you know.
You know,
Well, I know
she's
what
like-
he meant, and I know
What I
what
find is-
his job is, but
Yeah, I get how the scene was supposed to be playing out. What I am incredulous is that she wouldn't recognize her husband's voice coming out of the Spider-Man.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
I don't know because like they're literally voiced by two different
Yeah, they're
people, so
different
it's
Yeah.
not.
oh really? I didn't.
Yeah,
yeah,
notice that.
one's Chris Pine and one is not.
Yeah, Jake Johnson, right?
Something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
the nerd from Jurassic World, whatever.
So either way, I like the scene. I like that, he says all that, and she thinks it's about bread. And then as they're leaving, Spider-Gwen's like, they are not getting any more bread. They find the elevator. What's that?
That's the part where I was like, "That's fucked up." Like, at least take a minute, bring her a basket of bread.
Yeah, bring her a little basket of bread.
Come on.
She's a fucking grieving widow.
Yeah,
Give her some bread.
So Kingpin leaves,
You know
goes
what?
to his elevator.
steal it from one of the other tables. Just bring her some bread.
Kingpin takes his elevator down from his pet house to the secret lab with the collider, and they basically follow him. They choke the guards out, and you get like Nicolas Cage is like sleep,
I did
does
hear
it.
that. Yeah.
and then they go down the elevator shaft, and they're what's it called? They are going to go deactivate the collider as Kingpin's firing it up. They're climbing up to where they got to put the goober in the panel. And the bad guys are totally like, this is gonna happen. They're all prepared for it. Doc Ock comes out, Scorpion comes out, fucking all the scientists are firing their pew pews. What you call it? The collider turns on. It's making all these crazy effects as dimensions are stacking on each other. You getting like buildings are floating in the middle of nowhere. Trains are going by.
It's Inception.
They're all
Yeah.
fucking neon colors.
Spider Noir beats the hell out of Tombstone and refers to him as a hard-boiled turtle slapper.
I like the
Slapping your
move
turtle.
where he puts his hat over his face and then punches him through the hat.
Meanwhile, Scorpion is fucking up the Penny Parker's robot. He's ripping parts off of it. It's not looking good. But then Peter Porker comes to the rescue, hits him with an anvil, gives them all the different cartoon shit, and then Spider Noir comes in with a punch, and Penny Parker hits Scorpion with the severed arm of the robot, knock him out. He's out of the fight. Meanwhile, Miles, Gwen, and PB are fighting Doc Ock, and they give her this like triple hit combo where they all swing by and punch her. And then she's coming back like, all right, I got my second win. I'm going to get you. And she gets hit by an interdimensional 18-wheeler. And she's out of the fight.
Which, when I saw that, I was like, it's destiny.
Yeah. So, what should I call it? Penny Parker's robot dies, but she keeps the spider. And they all leave one at a time, jumping back into the collider as they've put the goober in and set the collider to reverse. And
Gone
Spider,
from suck to blow.
yep, Spider Noir has he's taking the Rubik's cube. He's like, I don't understand this, but I'll keep it. And then what you call it? They they all vanish. Spider Gwen says her goodbye, and then PB's like, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna stay around. I gotta see this through. And Miles is like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, because Kingpin shows up. And he's
Yeah.
like, I can't leave you to fight him on your own. He's gonna kick your ass.
Miles is like, I got this.
Oh yeah,
So now,
smart. He says you got to trust me and trust yourself that you're gonna do the right thing.
What's up, Danger?
so Miles fights Kingpin. They're fighting in like a subway train. Kingpin, he's winning, but then he sees the interdimensional Vanessa shows up and he gets distracted, and they end up falling on top of an interdimensional Brooklyn bridge, and they're fighting there. Spider-Man receives the Kingpin smash, but then he sees his dad and he gets the strength of his family, and he stands up, touches Kingpin on the shoulder, and is like, "Hey," and electrocutes the shit out of him. Then webs him.
Fires a freaking like.
Electroblast.
Yeah, like a shoops to whoops him.
Yep. And he's like, "This creepy shoulder touch is for my Uncle Aaron." And swings him around on the webs and, throws him into the button that will turn the collider off. Collider fucking explodes. And, I mean, it doesn't have to be directly under the building, but we are led to believe that this thing is just fucking right under the Kingpin building.
Yep.
And you can see it blows a hole in the street. So, like, there's probably a bunch of dead people there.
Yeah, but you gotta think though. Well, yeah, there's probably a lot of dead people, but like the structural stability of the building is probably fine because it's designed to have to like have Kingpin walking around.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. And he probably, not only is he walking around, but he punches stuff all the time and throws people around.
Yeah, you have to throw some new floorboards down.
Occasionally takes a wall down or two.
Could you imagine if it was Kingpin that got the thing that turned the Hulk into the Hulk? That would just be terrifying.
Yeah, do we know why the Kingpin is super strong?
He's not supposed to be super strong.
Like he's
supposed to be
super
like,
strong for a long time.
He's supposed to be like peak human strong.
Yeah,
like
I originally
strongest man in the world strong.
I thought he was, just a big, strong guy.
He's just a big dude.
Because I remember asking you guys, like, why doesn't Spider-Man just kick his ass? Spider-Man can lift up a bus.
That is the thing. It's like at some point you can like dial your punch up like 2 extra notches. So
Yeah. That's what people are like, well, Spider-Man pulls his punches. And it's like, why doesn't he just punch him in the solar plexus really fucking hard? It's not going to kill him, but you're not doing anything else for like a week afterwards. So either way, I
would actually. Now we're getting in a tricky area, but I was just thinking like, I could punch your head off, but I'm Spider-Man, so I can't do that. I'm going to pull my punches. I can break your kneecaps.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, Fats.
Exactly.
There's actually, I've seen panels from a comic book where I don't know what reality it was, but they were both in prison and ended up fighting each other in prison. And Peter Parker's just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to beat you to within an inch of your life, and does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's one whole comic line. I think they were hinting at this in No Way Home, but where Spider-Man kind of goes an evil route because the Goblin or somebody kills Aunt May, and like he kills him. And then there's I think one of the more recent ones, the Hunter's daughter does something. I don't even remember what now anymore, but like. He's like, hey, I've lost my humanity, basically, so I'm going to teach you things I've never done before. And I think, like, sticks his hand to her face and then rips her face off. It's fucked up.
So
yeah, you just got to go with it.
The end, Miles calls his dad. They talk for a while. They reconnect. Spider-Man shows up and hugs his dad, and he's like, I look forward to working with you. And
that's where I call... Yeah, that's where I call bullshit and not recognize the voice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I'm talking to my son on the phone. All right, click. Oh, hey, Spider-Man.
Well, he disguises it.
Yeah, you got to... Yeah, but, like, if you came up... I just talked to you on the phone, and then you came up to me and were like, hi, I'm not Eric. I'd be like, I just talked to you.
We's in Brooklyn.
But if you just...
I know that's you.
Proud to work with you.
That's terrible, and I know it's you.
But if you just saw this dude throw a car, would your brain connect that it could possibly be your son?
Maybe if I saw him throw a car.
But he has severe hearing issues right now because he's just in an interdimensional suck zone.
That is fair. That is fair.
So right now his dad's is just like, his ears.
He couldn't actually hear anything that Spider-Man or his son was saying. He was
Why
just
did you hug me, Spider-Man?
What?
It's
like the Peanuts adults.
Or you what?
So Spider-Man hung the Kingpin from a web, leaves him for the police to get.
With a tag on him.
Yep.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
And we get one last Spider-Man origin story for Miles Morales. And you see the other Spider-Men doing their thing. You see PB goes and he gets in his new suit and he gets some flowers and he goes to see MJ, and apparently that's all you need to do to reconcile a divorce.
Well,
Yeah.
he's starting.
Yeah.
He's working on it. He hasn't done the shoulder touch yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you learned about the shoulder touch.
Apparently, all that she wants is another baby.
And he's gone tomorrow. Or she's gone tomorrow. Either way, at the very, very end, he's sitting in his bed in his dorm room, and you see like Gwen reach out to him through some sort of interdimensional communication. You just hear her voice, and then the movie ends, and I gotta elevate. We get that song, which I also did not like. But
Not Jaden Smith.
no, after the credits, after the first part of the credits, we do get this a Stan Lee quote about people being heroes, and we get a shout out to Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And then more credits go by, and at the very end, you get Spider-Man. Is it 2099?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets some new time traveling gizmo. He has
Dimension traveling gizmo.
Dimension traveling gizmo, yeah, and apparently he has a like an AI woman that he talks to,
Yeah.
and it's in Nueva York, and he goes back to the beginning in 1967, and he runs into the old animated Spider-Man, and it just breaks down into a pointing fight, and the
I
cops
lost
like
my shit when I saw that in the theaters.
Yeah.
I was laughing my ass off.
the cops like.
Mean.
Which one's Spider-Man? And J. Jonah Jameson's like, they're both menaces. And it just says the end. No, yeah, I broke down laughing when I saw that. I do like the pointing meme. Into the
You're
Spider-Verse.
accusing me of pointing while you're pointing at me.
It's over.
Okay.
Does radioactive spiders have a thing? Rotten to the core.
Rotten things.
Yeah, well, took me a minute to realize what you're talking about. But, so yeah, on RottenTomatoes.com, into Spider-Verse, the critics gave this a score of 97%. Audience gave this a score of 94%. That's their thoughts and opinions. What about you and yours, Joe?
That's about right. Like, I had 3 gripes with this movie, and like, I will acknowledge that like they're all opinion things, and I'm probably wrong on like all of them. So they're how I feel, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's not...
no, but what I mean, like, I think most people wouldn't have a problem with them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I
Taste
thought,
is subjective.
there were a couple moments where like the voice acting cast let me down, but like other than that, like the animation's superb. I like the fact that we feel we're in a comic book. I like the fresh take on the characters. I like Spider-Man as a character I don't particularly care about, so I like that we get a bunch of different takes on him. And this was before the multiverse thing got played out, so I like all the other different dimensional stuff. I like their interpretation of Kingpin. The thing with Uncle Aaron and Prowler was cool. Like, the movie is vibrant, colorful, like
in a good way.
in a good way, yeah, and just like it was a lot of fun. And like all the complaints I make about it are like freaking minor, and it does so many other things well that it easily offsets it. So I would not say it's an A+, but I would say it's a solid A. It's probably, I don't know against the Tom Holland Spider-Mans where I would rank it, but it's easily better than any other Spider-Man movies that I saw. Again, I don't know anything about the comics. I don't know anything about the shows. So like going just off of movies, I loved it.
All right. Brooke.
Pretty much the same. It's a solid movie. I didn't catch any issues with the voice acting. The script was tight. The action was tight. Couple of things with plot holes that you could probably find, but like I didn't care. So I didn't have any problems with the movie. I give it a solid A, bordering on A+, but not. It's like 1 point short.
All right, John.
It's a well executed movie and will be entertaining for most people. So I'll recommend it on that basis. Personally, I don't really like it because I don't like, as a general rule, alternate dimensions. Yeah, fuck you. Alternate dimensions or time travel, but that's a whole nother ball of wax with what's going on. But nor do I like multiple versions of the same character. Like, just make a different fucking superhero, or at least call him like Arachno Kid or something, not like another fucking Spider-Man.
Static Shock.
That damn gremlin.
Oh! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, that they couldn't.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's a well done movie, but I personally could take it or leave it. But I will give it a recommend, as it's a well executed film.
How about the novelty of the animation style?
Yeah, no, the animation is all good except for, like I said at the beginning, I didn't care for the taking it that extra step into the comic book universe of having the bang pow spelled out every time there was a sound effect. But the cutting things into frames and doing it visually that way like a comic book, I definitely did enjoy.
All right. I, on the other hand, I loved all that. Like, I don't know that would. I love that style enough that it would work for everything or too much else. But in this case, I think the whole movie works really well as a package. It seems like it's all designed really well to work for what it is. It's good storytelling, good story, good characters, good animation, good music. Like, all of it works together. Like, even if you don't like the music, it works with the settings and things like that. And so, yeah, I really like this movie. I think it's one of the great ones. I've said since seeing it in the theater, like, the only downside I would really give it is that, like, why couldn't we ever do this for a standard Peter Parker movie? Because those always, like, just never quite as good as this. Admittedly, like, live action's harder to do some of the action as good as this, but yeah. But I don't
know. I would say the recent live action Spider-Man films have been on par with.
Most of them aren't bad, but in my opinion, like, this is like the top.
I think it's important to, like, everything in this movie, even the stuff that I didn't like, it all fits Miles Morales very well.
Yep.
And, like, it's not, you can't do this movie for Peter Parker. That's not Peter Parker. Like, this, like, the colors, the animation, everything, it's Miles, the music, it's all Miles
Morales.
The
whole message was that anyone, it's put yourself into the Spider-Man character.
And even that, like, because you were saying with I've mentioned before, like, my kind of quasi issues, if you will, with the having just another Spider-Man, but I think it's okay in this era where it is like an Elseworld thing. It is my problem is when in the comics when, like, they just start lumping them all together and then just there's 5 fucking Spider-Men all in the main timeline, like, but here. This is the world where his Spider-Man died, and he's the one that picked up the mantle. So, yeah, all around, recommend it. Give it an A+. Great movie, must watch. Enjoy.
I would also say this is definitely a make 3 of these and get the fuck out. Like, this is not like, everything that's fresh about this movie, I don't think would be sustained over a long franchise.
Well, at the very least. And I give them credit because they don't seem to be, doing this too badly. As we started the episode with this, is they're not just jumping on, like, we need to make another one or whatever. Like, they seem to have a plan for this, and they're doing something intentionally rather than just pumping things out and, like, saying, hey, next November you're going to get another movie, even though we don't have a script. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, you name it.
Basically, they're focusing on quality, not quantity.
Exactly.
Just put another guy in there with a laser sword. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And to our Spider-Man expert, Rob.
No, it was good. I don't know anything about Miles Morales, so this movie made me like actually give a shit about him as a character. So yeah, it's good. I enjoy the art style. I enjoyed the whatevers. I didn't particularly enjoy the weird anime robot, but overall, it was good. I enjoyed it. Not my favorite Spider-Man movie, probably, but it was a fun time. I liked that the animation could give better action sequences, and it definitely delivered on that. So that was pretty cool. So yeah.
What percentage of a web shooter would you give it from like flaccid to fully
Guys,
erect?
my web shooter's real. I don't try to make fun of it anymore. It's really rude.
What if we rephrase it from goblin tail to web shooter? Web shooter being the top.
I'd say it's like half goblin tail.
What would be your, just out of curiosity, what would be your favorite
I
Spider-Man?
don't know.
Okay,
I'll have to
great.
think about that.
That's fair.
Well, there's a lot that are up there. I'd have to think about what I like for what different reasons, and it could change at any time. I could be like, I like this one better, I guess.
No, that's fair.
But yeah. I mean, honestly, Multiverse of Madness did it better. So,
What?
Multiverse of Madness is basically this movie.
What, better?
Yeah, I was being facetious.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to say, yeah.
It's just
like,
funny
what?
that Multiverse of Madness is this movie.
Yeah.
Just with everyone making the wrong decision at all times.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's a whole problem. We'll get into this some other time.
what's up next? Is it time to roll the
Yeah.
dice?
Whose role is it? I wasn't here for last episode. I forgot who rolled.
I believe this was John. Right? No?
I don't know if I've rolled so far this
Meaning a
year.
thing.
Yes.
You have rolled this year.
Well, wait.
Sloppy whore.
This is terrible content, but
Well, this is what you signed up for.
That's this
The
podcast.
fucking crunching in your ears or the burping, farting.
well, that's
what,
you say this is what you signed up for, but this is why I imagine most people don't.
Don't sign up, yeah.
what's
Oh,
your-
which, by the way, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. We recommend Into the Spider-Verse. And oh yeah, I guess this was me. So you then?
Sure.
You tell me, dude.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
know
That
I
sounds
haven't
good.
rolled in like
Yeah, I think I
at least an
rolled
entire.
whatever it was.
We used to have it by name thing,
Hey,
and
let
then it
Rick
was
do
around the
That's fine,
table.
let Rick do it. It's good.
Alright, okay.
We good.
Thank you. Is this the one that you made, John?
Yes. That's a
It's
nine.
a 9.
999.
Please be an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
It is
Yeah.
not.
It's called Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh,
Oh no!
What the fuck?
Wow.
Oh no!
Yeah. I'm not responsible for what goes on the list, gentlemen. Except for the stuff that I put on it. All right.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Sorry. I'm sorry for this lost episode. But yeah, do all the things. Have a good night.
Adios.
I'm gonna go home and clean my web shooter.
I did it before I showed up.
Guys, it's actually real. The webbing turns into a gel. It's water soluble.
It's a water soluble gel.
Yes. You can hang it on your action figures. It's a real
Did they
thing.
have like the strong arm action figure like things?
Kung Fu grip.
Squeeze their leg.
Yeah, the kung fu grip.
I swear it's real.
Tony, Brick, spare Rob from this. Say goodnight. They won't.
Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.
What up, Danger?
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. Or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.